That guy's channel where it's like, what's the difference between stain and what's the difference between paint? Oil-based stain, oil-based paint. Let's fucking go. To be fair, the most annoying thing about oil-based stain or oil-based paint, is this one even oil-based, dude? Is how you clean it with. Latex, water-based paint, you can clean your brushes with just water. But with oil-based paint, it will not, it's not, oil-based paint is not soluble with water like how latex-based paint is. So what you have to clean it with is an oil-based, something that is soluble to oil-based paint, like paint thinner or acetone. So because these are all, paint thinner and acetone are oil-based themselves, mineral spirits, technically, or whatnot, they will dissolve the stain and clean it off of your brushes, whereas this would not do much versus latex paint, but yeah, you get the drift here. I'm wearing this camouflage stuff because if I get that brown paint on either this hat or this shirt, wouldn't be able to tell. Real smart. Alright, I'll give you an example. This one is oil-based, like I was saying before, but a little research on this can, and she is a premium exterior latex satin paint. Latex is it's water-based. Satin means it's the sheen. It's like a little less shiny than semi-gloss. And yeah, so this one's water-based. This one oil. I have them both set up here. This is one coat of the oil-based stain. This is like 10 years of the water-based the latex satin exterior paint here. It's just been layered on her over the years, but yeah, this one stain is more designed to soak into the grain, whereas the latex just kind of goes on top of it. I'm going to open this can of stain. I obviously purchased it from Home Depot as a mist tint from their discount line. It's a good strategy. You can see what color it is, and for this project it didn't really matter. This can is virtually all the way full. I think I only used it to paint this planter and this post last year. The pigment settles to the bottom of the container, which is why it requires a bit of stirring to mix the in oil-based paint. The sheen is determined. There's like one of the agents they add to it. You know, it's like it's either gloss, semi-gloss, satin, eggshell, or flat. Based on the amount of the sheen agent that they add, that makes it shiny. I actually really like satin. Satin's like a little bit in the middle range, just kind of like a slight sheen to it. But here we go, nonetheless, as I lose my track of thought, inhaling these not so potent fumes. I'm down a drop cloth because anything this stain gets on will essentially be on there forever. Except if by forever I mean the wood that I put it on last year, which you can already see it's coming off. But if it gets on this porous substance like this concrete, it will be there indefinitely, unless you want to scrub it out with acetone or paint thinner, which is not fun, dude. I went with the disposable foam brush just because I don't want to have to end up cleaning the stain out of any of my fancier brushes. Put it on there pretty heavy, but I'm not going ludicrous, you know. Some of these stains say you should only put one coat. Adhere to the instructions of whichever stain you're painting. Here comes the wind to blow this paint all over me, dude. Oh, great. Touch up any misses there, make sure there's no drips. And of course, I did get it on the concrete. I'll probably clean that up. Made sure I have a pretty even coat on the top, not too thick, no brush marks. Next, I'm gonna get the undercarriage of this with the light coat here. The underside is less exposed to the elements, but still gonna get a little bit of stain under there. Oh, look at that right there. Fresh, dry wood will obviously be more porous than wet wood or wood that's already got another coat to it. This one has a coat that I applied last fall, so most of the pores of the wood have been sealed with the existing stain, but nonetheless, I wanted to get another coat on this, and I'm going to be doing this to the workbench that I did in one of the recent vlogs too. Lifted this planter up to paint the bottom, to stain the bottom of it, and of course the bottom broke out, so I mean, I'm still going to paint this again, but I am not going to move it anymore. Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to get this on my porch, but I did weatherproof this pretty nice. These type of cheap cedar planters usually don't last that long. I think this one's on like year 3 or 4. Just keep staining it and hope for the best. The bottom of this thing broke out. I tried to steady myself by grabbing this rail, which of course is covered in wet stain. So things are going well. Looking pretty good, am I right, dude? In the little cracks there. Right, as we slowly make our way up in the difficulty of the projects, we started out with the handrail and we did the planter. Now we're going to go do the workbench, which is pressure treated but can still be stained. Wet pressure treated wood should sit for at least a month. I gotta get this corner again, missed a spot there. You can tell a bottom piece of this planter has broken off. Whatever, dude. These cedar planters aren't cheap. Like, I think I paid like 60, 80 bucks for this thing. But 4 years, that's pretty good. I mean, generally, I like ceramic. But in the Michigan winters, you have to bring in your ceramic planters also. Otherwise, the freeze cycle will break them. So, man, it's complicated, I guess, with outdoor planters in Michigan. But see these nice ones? I really like these, but yeah, these got to come in every fall season. Before the freeze cycle, these got to go inside. Some acetone onto a rag will clean this up pretty quickly. Watch out, this stuff is very, very flammable, but it's a bit of a slob here. I will also wipe the remember how I painted this post with I don't know if I vlogged it, but I painted this with flat paint last year, and it'll also dissolve that, so be careful. Here's my flat paint from last year dissolving off, dude. Probably because I used salt. Salt will It's extremely corrosive. Not only will it break down your cement, it will certainly attack the I believe this must be galvanized steel. That's the best. What can I do? You could make a video about folding these kiddie pools just into their smallest possible footprint and easily get 1 million views, maybe 10 million. Because these things are a bitch, bro. So with pressure treated wood, you're supposed to let it sit for about a month to let it dry out, to get all the liquid out of it, so that the stain will absorb into the pores of the wood. But also, I want to put feet on this thing so it's not just sitting out here with just bare wood exposed to the elements. So I'm going to take a little bit of this Trex decking and use fasteners to attach it to the 4x4 pressure treated post legs. Really simple plan. I'm going to take these connectors, which are 3-inch Deckmate, I believe that's torque 25, and I'm going to affix them into, using 4 connectors into the base of this 4x4 pressure treated wood, just so I can raise the bench, you know, at least 1 inch off of outside of the elements. It may or may not do anything, but obnoxious. Expert, dude. Wow, right into my hand. Brilliant. Expert, dude. Wow, right into my hand. Brilliant. Alright, I'm attempting to drill them all at the same time using my shop vise. I should really mark this out, dude. Trex decking is 4.5 inches wide. The 4x4 is 3 3/8 wide, which leaves me about 1/2 inch of clearance on each side there, so I'm going to mark that off. Alright, mark this off, put where I'm going to put my holes. I'm going to drop this into here. We're going to drill 4 copies of this, then we're going to install that onto the bottom of the bench, then we're going to stain it. Boom. Easy peasy. Not getting distracted by multiple side projects. So 4x4s are not truly 4x4s, they're 3.5 by, this one's not even 3.5, this one's 3 3/8. So 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. This is just a regular pine. I'm pretty sure the pressure treated one is also the exact same dimensions. So yeah, I'm going to assume 3 3/8 by 3 3/8 for my footprint here. I'm going to mark this out as a I'm going to create a template. There goes nothing. So much debris. Okay. My freshly shop vac workshop, dude. Whatever. It's kind of interesting. Even though this Trex decking's like plastic based, you can smell it has some sort of it still has some. It has some wood fiber in it because you can smell it. You can smell the wood fiber burning up. Oh, what a mess. Anyway, here's my top template. Here's my secondary piece. Here's my third piece. And it didn't quite make it through to the fourth, so I'm going to take my last 2, put them back into the vise, and drill these out again. So much debris going everywhere. Should probably be using a clamp to get this on here square. Alright, I'm going to do that. If I wanted to make the feet look even nicer, I could trim off this extra, but I don't really care, and I feel like it might give my bench a little more stability having wider feet, so whatever, dude. Bye. Since I know there's a 1/2 inch clearance of about these are 1x2s or whatever. I know these are 3/4 thick, so I know they're 3/4 thick. I know this board is 4.5 inches wide, and I know this one is 3 3/8, which should leave about 1/4 of an inch left on each side. And then we're going to line this up here. These are equal, so it fits in there pretty much perfectly. And then we're going to secure this in with our fasteners. Really test it. We're going to go down blind like this and see if this thing measures up, if these match up perfectly, or if my stencil matches up perfectly with the base. All right, that's my attempt number 1. Looks promising so far. Boom, dude, pretty much freaking perfect. All right, I just wanted to see my guide for my template, dude. Matches up freaking basically perfectly, so that's what I was looking for. Use my little scraper guy, cut off the excess material. Smooth. Repeat this process a few more times. Stir up that pigment again. It sticks to the bottom there, gravity and all. Alright, wipe off this dirt and debris, these spider webs, and I'm going to quickly paint this. I use that little foam brush on the mailbox of the planter, but I'm just going to use my regular brush on this thing, dude, because it'll take forever using that micro brush. But you get the drift. My new feet are affixed to the bench. I'm gonna wipe it down and apply that stain and call it a day, dude. This was enough. I'm still trying to do this as clean as possible without making a mess, but it is, again, just a workbench. So this ain't the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, you know what I'm saying? But I'm also don't want it to look too sloppy, you know. Almost perfect. making progress. Got the bottom half of the legs and the bottom inside lip painted. Alright, now I'm gonna flip this mofo around back onto his feet so it's right side up. Alright, got her back on her feet, dude. I'll probably throw out my back again. Old man problems, dude. It's because this thing weighs like 200 pounds, dude, minimum. She's just too heavy, bro. She's too heavy, she's too thick. I guess realistically, you'd want to probably stain it before you put these, the top surface, you know, the top boards on, but I'm not redoing those. Alright, this is the last side. Making a huge mess. This might be one of my nicest projects yet. This thing looks beautiful. A little acetone on a rag really cleans up those spills. Fortunately, I'm doing, you know, this is the cedar track stack and this is the cedar stain, so they're essentially the same color, so any sort of accidents should blend in, but still looks freaking great. I'm pretty satisfied with this project. Not least, I'm going to use a little acetone to clean up some of these spills here and should be good to go. Alright, you can see the brush is starting to come apart, mainly because of contact on the nail or the screw heads, the fasteners, but alright, we got that cedar on cedar. These are the cedar colored track stacking. This is the cedar colored stain here with the satin sheen. Looking good, dude.